Sol redondo y colorado, con una reda de cobre. De diario me estás mirando, de diario me miras, pobre. Sol que tú eres tan parejo para repartir tu luz. Habías de enseñar amor a hacerlo, mi multitud. Me miras con el arado, luego con la rosadera. Una vez en la llanura y otra vez en la ladera. Sol que tú eres tan parejo para repartir tu luz. Habías de enseñar amor a hacerlo mismo que
I learn in this letter that the High General to Zapata, Don Pedro of Cuernavaca, comes this night to Cualta.
Oh, he is very near by this. He was not 3 miles off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor upon a young Zapatista called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age.
He hath an uncle here in Cualta will be very much glad of it.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him.
I pray you, is Signor Mountanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, Senorita. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Senor Benedict.
Aha.
He has returned, and pleasant as ever he was.
I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all his killings.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done a good service, Senorita, in these wars.
He is a very valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord. A man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, Senorita, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1. So that if it be well enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it, for a difference between himself and his horse. For it is all the wealth he hath left to be known a reasonable creature. I pray you, who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is it possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith, but as the fashion of his hat, it ever changes with the next block.
I see, senorita. The gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my studies. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young guerrero that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. Oh, God, help the noble Claudio. If he have caught the Benedict, it will cost him 1,000 pesos ere it be cured.
Don Pedro's approach.
Good Signora Leonata, are you come to meet your trouble? The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her father, I have many times told so.
Was he in doubt, Signora, that he asked you?
Oh, Signor Benedict, no, for then you were a child.
You have it full, Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Be happy, Senorita, for you are like an honorable mother.
If Signora Leonata be her mother, she would not have her head on her shoulders for all Coalta, as like her as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Signorita Disdain? Are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain when you come in her presence.
Why then is courtesy a turncoat? But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood I am of your humor for that. I'd rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall escape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twas such a face as yours were.
Oh, well, you're a rare parrot teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse have the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer. But keep your way, a God's name I have done.
You always end with a jade trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all, Leonata. Signor Claudio, Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonata hath invited you all. I tell her we shall stay here at the least a month, and she prays heartily some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear she is no hypocrite, but prays from her heart.
If you swear, Signor, you shall not be forsworn. I bid you welcome, Signora. Being reconciled to a general, your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please, at your grace, lead on.
Your arm, Leonata. We will go together.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signora Leonata?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young senorita?
Would you have me speak after my custom, as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why, i' faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome. And being no other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
See, and a case to put it into. But speak you this with a sad brow?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest senorita that ever I looked on.
I can see it without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is't come to this? Hath not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again go to in faith? And thou wilt be thrust thy neck into a yoke. Oh, look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you.
What secret hath held you here that you followed not to Leonata's?
I would your grace constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Capitan Claudio? I can be a secret as a dumb man, I would have you think so. But on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonata's short daughter.
Amen if you love her, for the señorita is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, senor.
Es verdad, I speak my thoughts.
And in faith, senor, I spoke mine. That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
I never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a rachate winded in my forehead or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me. Because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any, I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for the which I may go finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee ere I die look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will get again with drinking. Pick out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen and hang me on the door of a brothel house as a sign for blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me. And he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, you will temporize with the hours. In the meantime, repair to Leonata's. Commend me to her and tell her I shall not fail her at supper, for indeed she hath made great preparation.
And so I leave you.
My liege, your highness now may do me good.
My heart is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonata any son, senor?
No child but Hero. She's our only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, senor! When you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that liked, but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and those war thoughts have left their places vacant, and in their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying, I liked her ere I went to war.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words. If thou dost love fair Hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her mother, and thou shalt have her. Was not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story.
Oh, how sweetly you do minister to love that know love's grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I might have solved it with a longer treatise.
Look, I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have reveling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I'm Claudio. And in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her mother will I break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
Que hay, hermano?
Hermana, I can tell you strange news that you yet dreamt not of.
Were they good?
El General and El Capitan Claudio were thus much overheard by me. El General discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in a dance. And if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
I will acquaint my daughter withal, that she may be the better prepared for an answer, if peradventure this be true.
What the good year, Signora? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds. Therefore, the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessings brings it?
If not a present remedy, At least a patient sufferance.
I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no one's jest. Eat when I have stomach, and wait for no one's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no one's business. Laugh when I am merry, and claw no one in their humor.
See, but you must not make a full show of it till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath ta'en you newly into his grace.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. Ah! And it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here? What news, Baracco?
I came yonder from a great supper. El General, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonata. And I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Mary, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio.
El mismo.
Oh, a proper squire. And who? Which way looks he?
Via on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonata.
This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross her any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, Senora!
Let us to that great supper. Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon you, Senora.
Was not Doña Juana here at supper?
No le he visto.
Oh, how tardily that Doña looks. I can never see her, but am heartburned an hour after.
How me fay, niece, thou wilt never get to thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
Ah, Fay, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I will lessen God sending that way. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just if he sends me no husband. For which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I cannot endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the woolen.
You may light upon a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel? And make him mi servienta. He that hath a beard on his face is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your mother.
Claro, 'tis my cousin's duty to make curtsies and say, Mother, as it pleases you. But for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another curtsy and say, Mother, as it pleases me.
Well, niece, I hope one day to see you fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust, to make an account of her life to a clod of wayward moral? No, Tia, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to be matched in my kindred.
Oh, cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, Tia. I can see a church by daylight.
Ah, the revelers!
Buenos dias.
Senorita, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero, and hath withdrawn her mother to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Signor Benedict?
You know me well, el mismo soy.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I, too, and he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Thus answer I in name of Benedict, but hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. Oh, 'tis certain so. El General woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch, against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This was an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Adios, therefore, Hero.
Campesino? Claudio?
See, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Adonde?
Even to the next willow, about your own business. Come, what fashion will you wear the garland of? You must wear it one way, for El General hath got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
But did you think El General would have served you thus?
I pray you leave me.
Oh! Now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be so, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor hurt foul. Now will he creep into sedges. But that my Senorita Beatrice should know me, and not know me. El General's fool? Ha! It may be I go under that title because I marry. See, but so I'm apt to do myself wrong. Oh, it is the base though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person, and so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
No, senor, where's Claudio? Did you see him?
I found him here, as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace hath got the goodwill of this young senorita, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to bind him up a garland, as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod, as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy, who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a trust a transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the garland too. For the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing, and restore them to the owner.
Well, if their singing answer your saying, by my faith you say honestly.
The Senorita Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her that she is much wronged by you.
Oh! She misused me past the endurance of a block. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was El General's jester, that I was duller than a great Thor, huddling jest upon jest, with such impossible conveyance upon me that I stood like a man at a mark, with the whole army shooting at me. She speaks poniards, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there'd be no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam had left him before he transgressed. Come, talk not of her. You may find her the infernal Arte in good apparel. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary, and people sin on purpose, because they would go thither. So indeed all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Mirala, chi viene?
Would your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the antipodes you can devise to send me on. Fetch you a toothpicker from the furthest inch of Asia? You have no employment for me.
Nada, but to desire your good company.
Oh, just, senor. Here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my senorita tongue.
Come, senorita, come. You have lost the heart of Senor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord. He lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one. Marry once before he won it of me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say lo perdió.
You have put him down, senorita. You have put him down.
Oh, so I would not he would do me, my lord, lest I prove the mother of fools. I have brought Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Why, how now, Claudio? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad.
How then? Sick?
Tampoco.
Here. I have wooed in thy name, and fair Hero is won. I have broke with her mother, and her goodwill obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Claudio, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Habla, Claudio, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Senorita, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you, and dote upon the exchange.
Habla, cousin. Or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss and let him not speak neither.
In faith, senorita, you have a merry heart.
Indeed, my lord, I thank it. Poor fool. Keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Oh, good Lord for alliance, and thus goes everyone to the world, but I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey-ho for a husband.
Senorita Beatrice, I will get you one.
I'd rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace ne'er a brother like you? Your father's got excellent husbands if a maid could come by them.
Will you take me, senorita?
No, sure, senor. Unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace pardon. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me. And to be merry best becomes you. For out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, senor, my mother cried. But then there was a star danced, and under that was I born. Cousins, God give you joy. I cry your mercy, Tia, by your grace's pardon.
Por mi fe, a pleasant-spirited senorita.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, senor. She's never sad but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I've heard my daughter say that she's often dreamt of unhappiness and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all of her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, Dios mío. If they were married a week, they would talk themselves mad.
Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, senor. Time moves on crutches till love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence a just 7 night, and a time too brief, too, to have all things answer my mind.
Come, you shake your head at so long a breathing, but I warn thee, the time shall not go dully by us. I will, in the interim, undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring the Signor Benedict and the Signorita Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it if you 3 will but minister such assistance as I shall give thee direction.
Senor, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights watching.
And I, senor.
And you too, gentle hero.
I will do any modest office, Signor, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far I can praise him. He is a true Zapatista, of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I will teach thee how to humor thy cousin, that she will fall in love with Benedict. And I, with your 2 helps, will so practice on Benedict, that in despite of his quick wit and queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Venite conmigo, and I will tell you my drift.
It is so. El Capitan Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonata.
Si, Senora, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, Senora, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told you a year since how I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
Lo recuerdo.
I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her lady's chamber window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to El General your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio to a contaminated stale, such a one as Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse El General, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonata. Look you for any other issue?
Only to despite them will I endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and El Capitan Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. They will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances, which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window, hear me call Margaret Hero, and bring them to see this the very night before the intended wedding, that there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty, that jealousy shall be called assurance and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can, I will put it in practice. Be cunning in the working this, and thy fee is 1,000 pesos.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go learn their day of marriage.
I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man as Claudio, I have known when there was no music with him, but the drum and the fife. And now, had he rather listen to the maracas or the guitar? I have known when he would have walked 10 mile afoot to see a good gunnery. And now, will he lie 10 nights awake, carving the fashion of a new sombrero? He was wont to speak plain to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. And now is he turned orthography. His words were a very fantastical banquet. So many strange dishes. May I be so converted? And see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise or I'll none. Virtuous or I'll never cheapen her. Fair or I'll never look on her. Mild or come not near me. Of good discourse, an excellent musician. And her hair shall be of what color please God? Oh, El General and Signor Love. I will hide me. Shh, shh.
See you where Benedict hath hid himself.
Oh, very well, senor.
Come hither, Leonata. What was it you told me of today? That your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedict?
Oh, aye! Stock on, the foul sits. I did never think the senorita would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither. But most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behavior seemed ever to abhor.
Será posible?
By my troth, Signor, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth, but counterfeit.
Dios, counterfeit! There never was counterfeit a passion come so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
You amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, Signor, especially against Benedict.
I would think this a gall, but that the old woman speaks it. Knavery cannot sure hide itself in such reverence.
He hath ta'en the infection. Hold it up, hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swears she never shall. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed. So your daughter says.
Shall I?
Says she.
Who have so oft encountered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
Then, down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses.
Oh, sweet Benedict, God, give me patience!
She doth indeed. My daughter says so. And the ecstasy of it hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometimes afeard she will do a desperate outrage to herself.
It were good that Benedict should know of it by some other if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would but make sport of it, torment the poor senorita worse.
And he should it were an alms to hang him. She is an excellent, sweet senorita, and out of all question, she is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
In everything but in loving Benedict.
Oh, Senor, such wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body. And we have 10 proofs to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her and have just cause, being her aunt and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have daft all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you, tell Benedict of it and hear what he will say.
Were it good, think you?
Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he love her not, and she will die as she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her, rather than she bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well. If she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. For the man, as you know all, hath indeed a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God, and in my mind he is wise.
He doth show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
I assure you. Come, shall we go seek out the man and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, senor. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. He may wear her heart out first.
Well, we shall hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedict well, and could wish that he would modestly examine himself to see how much unworthy he is of so good a senorita.
Senor, will you walk? Dinner is served.
If he dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let the same net be spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewoman carry. The sport will be when they hold one an opinion of another's dotage, and no such matter. That's what scene I would see, which will be merely a dumb show. Let us send her to call him in to dinner.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the senorita. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me? Why? It must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she would rather die than show any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear to their detractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady's fair. 'Tis so. I can bear them witness. And virtuous. 'Tis so. I can not reprove it. And wise, but for loving me. By my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me because I've railed so long against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Shall these quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the career of his humor? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Oh! Here comes Beatrice. By this day she is a fair senorita. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
It took no more pains for those things than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure then in the message?
See, so much as you take upon a knife's... Oh, you have no stomach, senor? Fare you well then.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come into dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those things than you took pains to thank me. Well, that's as much to say, any pains I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not love her, I am a villain. If I do not take pity on her, I am un hacendado. Come, I will go get her picture.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the General and Claudio. Whisper her ear, and tell her I and Ursula walk in the courtyard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us, and bid her steal into the pleached bower to listen our propose. This is thy office. Bear thee well in it, and leave us alone.
I will make her come. I warrant you presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedict. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedict is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look where Beatrice like a lapwing runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
Then let we go near her, that her ear lose nothing of the full sweet bait that we lay for it.
No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says El General and my neutral lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, Senora?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full, as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on.
Sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she'll make sport at it. Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd, and from all fashions as Beatrice's cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedict, like covered fire, consume away in sighs waste inwardly.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, rather I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Senor Benedict.
He is the only man of Mexico, always excepted my dear Claudio.
I pray you, be not angry with me, Senora, speaking my fancy. Senor Benedict, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in report through Mexico.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, Senora?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires, and have thy counsel which is best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, Senora.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedict, love on, I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness will incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it, better than reportedly. Oh.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then go I toward Cuernavaca.
I'll bring you thither, senor, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, That would be as great a soil in the gloss of your new marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him wear it. I will only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little archer dare not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue's the clapper, for as his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Amigos, I am not as I have been.
So says I. Methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Nay, hang him, truant. There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
Draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
What, sigh for the toothache?
Where there's but a humor or a worm.
Well, everyone can master a grief, but he that has it.
Yet say I, he is in love.
There's no appearance of fancy in him. Hath any man seen him at the barber?
No, but the barber's man hath been seen with him, and the old ornament of his cheek hath already stuffed tennis balls.
Indeed, he does look younger by the loss of a beard.
Nay, he rubs himself with civet. Can you smell him out by that?
That is as much to say, the sweet youth in love.
The greatest note of it is in his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
See, or to paint himself, for the which I hear they say of him.
Nay, but his jesting spirit, which is now new crept into a guitar string and governed by stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude, he is in love.
And I know who loves him.
That would I know too. I warned one that knows him not.
And despite all his ill conditions, dies for him.
She shall be buried with her face upwards.
Yet there's no charm for the toothache. Signora, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
By my life, to break with him about Beatrice!
'Tis certain so, and by this have Hero and Margaret played their parts, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
Senor, hermano, buenos dias.
Buenos dias, hermana.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you, yet Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Mean you to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me. By that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath help to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely, suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Okay, what's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, the señorita is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonata's hero, your hero, every hombre's hero.
Disloyal!
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go, but with me tonight. You shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her, but it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
And may this be so!
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have heard more and seen more, proceed accordingly.
If there be any reason tonight why I should not marry her tomorrow, there, in the congregation where I should wed her, I will shame her.
And as I did woo for thee to obtain her, I will join thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no farther till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly, but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Oh, day untowardly turned.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting.
Oh, plague, right well prevented. So will you say when you have seen the sequel.
Hop, 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 hop. Halt!
it were pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were punishment too good for them, if they had any allegiance in them being chosen for Zapata's watch.
Well, give them their charge, Guardia Dogberry.
First, who think you is the most desertless to be constable?
Jorge Sequoia, señorita, and Consuelo Planton, for we can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Planton. God has blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored woman is a gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both wits, senora.
You have. I knew it would be your answer. As for your favor, why, Dios gracias, and make no note of it. And as for your writing and reading, let that appear when there's no need for such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit for the constable of the watch. Therefore bear ye the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrom men. You are to bid stand any man in El General's name.
How, if the will not stand?
Why then, take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you're rid of a knave.
Oh, if he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the Zapatistas.
True, for they are to meddle with none but the Zapatistas. You shall also make no noise in the street, for the watch to babble and to talk is most horrible and cannot be endured.
We will rather sleep than talk. We know it belongs to a watch.
Well, you speak like a most quiet and ancient guardias. For I cannot see how sleeping shall offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you shall also call it all the pulquerias, and get those that are drunk, get them to bed.
How, if they will not?
Why then, leave them alone till they're sober. And if they make you not then the better answer, you may say they're not the men you took them for.
Well, ma'am.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by the virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle and make with them, the more your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may. But I think those that touch pitch shall be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself for what he is and steal out of your company.
You have been always called a merciful woman, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will. Much more a man who has some honesty in him.
Oh, if a child cry in the night, you must call the nurse and bid her steal it.
But how if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then depart in peace and let the child wake her with crying?
'Tis very true.
This is the end of your charge. Well, good night, masters. And if there be any matter of which chances, call up me. Keep your fellow counsels and your own, and good night, ven amiga.
Well, senor, we hear our charge. Let us sit here upon these stairs till 2, then all to bed.
One more word, mis amigos. I pray you, watch about Senora Leonata's door. For the wedding being there tomorrow, there'll be a great coil tonight. Adios. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
What? Conrad!
Peace! Stir not!
Conrad, I say!
Hear me! I'm at thy elbow!
Mass, and my elbow itched. I thought there would a scab follow.
I will owe thee an answer for that. Now forward with thy tale.
Some treason, compadre, yet stand close.
Therefore know I have earned of Doña Juana 1,000 pesos.
Is it possible villainy should be so dear? I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest the fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know that deformed. Has been a vile thief this 7 years. Goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Didst thou not hear somebody?
No, 'twas the vane on the house.
Seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is? How giddily it turns on the hot bloods between 14 and 35?
Art not thou thyself giddy with the fashion, that thou hast shifted thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so neither, but know that I have tonight wooed Margaret, the Senorita Hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leans me out of her mistress' chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how El General, Claudio, and my mistress saw far off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they Margaret was Hero?
2 of them did, the General and Claudio, but the devil, my mistress, knew she was Margaret, and partly by her oaths, which first possessed them, partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, away when Claudio, enraged, swore he would meet her as he was appointed the next morning at the cathedral, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw o'ernight and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the people's name, stand.
Call up the constable, for we have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that was ever known in Morales.
And one deformed is one of them. I know him.
Masters.
You'll be made bring the forth, I warrant you.
Masters.
Never speak, we charge you. Let us obey you to come with us.
Come, we'll obey.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise.
Si, Senora.
And bid her come hither.
Well.
Troth, I think your other rabato were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
By my troth, not so good, and I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tire within excellently, if the hair were a thought browner, and the gown's a rare fashion, i' faith. I saw the widow Diaz's gown that they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
'Tis but a nightgown in respect to yours, but for a fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent a fashion, yours is worth 10 on't.
God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee! Art not ashamed?
Of what? Of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? I'll offend no one. Is there any harm in heavier for a husband? None, I think, and it be the right husband and the right wife. Otherwise, 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my Senorita Beatrice else. Here she comes.
Buenos dias, Beatrice.
Buenos dias, querida.
Que paso? Do you speak in the sick tune?
Oh, I'm all out of other tune, methinks.
Claps into light of love. That goes without a burden. Do you sing it and I'll dance it.
Well, see, light o' love with your heels.
Oh, illegitimate construction. I scorn that with my heels.
'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceedingly ill. Hey-oh.
These gloves El Capitan sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
Oh, I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
Oh, a maid and stuffed. There's goodly catching of cold.
Oh, God help me. God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Does not my wit become me most rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardius Benedictus and lay it to your heart. 'Tis the only thing for a qualm.
Benedictus? Why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus.
Moral? By my troth, I have no moral meaning in this. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think perchance I think you are in love. Nay, Madre de Dios! I am not just a fool to think what I list, nor list I to think what I can, nor indeed what I cannot list. If I would think my heart out of thinking you're in love, or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love, yet Benedict was such another, now he's become a man. He swore he would never marry, now despite his heart he eats his meat without grudging. And how you've become converted, I know not. But methinks you look with your eyes as other women do?
What paces this thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Senora, withdraw. El General, El Capitan, Senor Benedict, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
To bless me, good cause, good night, good Ursula.
Senora Leonata.
What would you with me, honest Campesina?
Mary, Senora, I would have some confidence with you which discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Mary, Senora, this it is.
Yes, in truth it is, Senora.
What is it, my good friends?
Campesina Vargas here has spoken a little of the matter, an old woman, and her wit is not so blunt as God is would desire it were. But in truth, she is as honest as the skin between her brows.
Yes, I thank God I'm as honest as any woman living that is an old woman, and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous. Palabras, Campesina Vargas.
Oh, pardon.
Campesinas, you are tedious.
Oh, if it pleases your worship to say so. But we are only the poor general's officers. But in truth, as for my own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I would find it in my heart to bestow it all on your worship.
All of your tediousness on me.
See, it were 1,000 pesos more than that, for I hear as good explanation on your worship as on any umbra in the city, and though I be but a poor woman, I am glad to hear it.
Yo, tambien.
Now, I would fain know what you have to say.
Mary, Senora, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, had ta'en a couple of as errant knaves as any in Kualta.
Take their examination yourself and bring it to me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be sufficient.
Senora, they stay for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I'll wait upon them. I am ready. Drink some wine ere you go.
Gracias.
Very well.
Come, good partner, come get you to Jorge Sequoia and bid him to bring his pen and inkhorn to the jail. We are now to examination these men.
And we must do it wisely.
Oh, we will spare for no wit, I warrant you. Ha ha.
Francisco, now be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you can recount their particular duties afterwards.
You come hither, my lord, to marry the señorita?
No.
Oh, to be married to her. Padre, you come to marry her.
Señorita vienes aquí to be married to this man?
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any hero?
None, senor.
Know you any capitan?
I dare make his answer. None.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
How now, interjections? Why then some be of laughing as ha ha ha.
Stand me by, Padre. Madre, by your leave. Will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back, whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Senor, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonata. Take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold, how like a maid she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, senor?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Now, senor, if you, in your own proof, have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made a defeat...
I know what you would say. You would say, if I have known her, she'd embrace me as a husband, and therefore extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonata, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister, showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Who out on the seeming? I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as is the bud ere it be blown, but you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wide?
Henrel, why speak not you?
What should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Senora, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True. Oh, Dios.
Leonata, stand I here? Is this El General? Is this his sister? Is this face Hero's? Our eyes our own.
All this is so. But what of the senor?
Let me but move one question to your daughter. And with that motherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee to do so, as thou art my child.
Oh, Dios, defend me. How am I beset? What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Mary that can Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you anoche? Out at your window betwixt 12 and 1. Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why, then you are no maiden. Leonata, I am sorry you must hear. Upon my honor, myself, Doña Juana, and this captain did see her. Hear her at that hour last night talk with the ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed most like a liberal villain confessed the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret, and...
Fie, they are not to be named, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, Senorita, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, Hero. What a hero hadst thou been if half thy outward grace has been placed about the thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity. For thee, I'll lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang to turn all thoughts of beauty into harm, and never shall it more be gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light. Smother her spirits up.
How doth the senorita?
You're dead, I think. Help, Tia. Why, Hero. Tia, Signor Benedict, Padre.
Oh, death, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
Have comfort, senorita.
Dost thou look up?
See, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, Hero, do not ope thine eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die, that thy spirits were stronger than thy shames. Myself would on the rearward of reproaches strike at thy life. Great I had but one. Should I for that at frugal nature's frame? Oh, but one too much by thee. Why had I won? Why ever wast thou lovely in mine eyes? Why had I not with charitable hand took up a peon's issue at my gates, who smirched thus and mired with infamy? I might have said, no part of it is mine. This shame derives itself from unknown loins. But mine, and mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine I was proud of. Mine so much that I myself was to myself not mine. Value we not her. Why she? Oh, she is fallen into a pit of ink that the wide sea hath drops too few to ever wash her clean again. And salt too little, which may season give to her foul tainted flesh.
Signora, be patient. For my part, I am so attired and wonder I know not what to say.
On my soul, my cousin is belied.
Senorita, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not. Although until last night I have these 12 months been her
bedfellow. Hear me a little. For I have been only silent so long and given way unto this course of fortune by noting of the senorita. I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions to start into her face. 1,000 innocent shames. In angel whiteness, beat away those blushes. And in her eye hath appeared a fire to burn the arrows that these soldiers hold against her maiden truth. Trust not my reverence, calling nor divinity, if this sweet senorita lie not guiltless here under some biting error.
Padre, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the honor she hath left is that she not add to her damnation a sin of perjury. She not denies it.
Senorita, what menace are you accused of?
They know that do accuse me, I know none. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. Ay, me mamma. Prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprison with those soldiers.
2 of them have the very bent of honor. And if their wisdoms be misledness, the practice of it lives in Doña Juana, whose spirits toil in frame of villainies.
I know not. If they speak but truth of her, these hands will tear her. But if they wrong her honor, the proudest of them will well hear of it.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Here, your daughter the Hombre is left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mournful ostentation, and on your family's old monument hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appertain unto a burial.
What will become of this? What will this do?
Mary, this well-carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good. But not for that dream I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She dying, as it so must be maintained, upon the instance that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. So will fare with Claudio. But if it sort not well, you may conceal her as best benefits her wounded reputation, in some religious and reclusive life, out of all eyes, minds, tongues, and injuries.
Signora Leonata, let the Padre advise you. And though you know my inwardness and love is with El General and with Claudio, yet by mine honor I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented. Presently away. Come, señorita. Die to live. This wedding day is perhaps but prolonged. Have patience. And endure.
Señorita, have you wept all this while?
See, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason, I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
Ah, how much might a man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange of a thing I know. It were as possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not. And yet, I lie not. I confess nothing, nor deny it. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
No, do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by that you love me, and I will make him eat it that say I love not you.
Will you not eat your words?
With no sauce that can be devised unto it. I protest, I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
Oh, what offense, querida.
You've stayed me in a merry hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it with all your heart.
I love you with so much of my heart I have none left to protest.
Oh, come. Bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Huh. Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Vaya con Dios.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I'm here. There's a love in you, nay, let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, yame boy.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is it not approved in the height of villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? What, bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then, with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor, oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out at a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
See, hero, she's wrong, she's slandered, she is undone. Oh God, that I were a man for his sake, or I had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into cursies, valor into compliment, and men are turned into tongues, and true ones too. I cannot be a man for wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you on your soul. Capitan Claudio hath wronged Hero.
See, so much as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand. And so I leave you. By this hand Claudio shall render me dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go. Comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so farewell.
The whole assembly appeared.
Go a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Marry, that am I and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Senora Guardia.
See, let them come before me. What's your name, amigo?
Baracco.
Por favor, write down Baracco. You're Sarah.
I am a campesino, senora. And my name is Conrad.
Write down Senor Campesino Conrad. Senores, it has been proved already that you're little better than false villanos, and it will go near to be thought so shortly. What do you have to say for yourselves?
Mary, senora, we say we are none.
Oh, what a marvelous witty fellow, but I shall go about with him, I promise you. Come you hither, Sarah. A word in your ear. Sarah, it is thought that you're false villanos.
Senora, I say to you, we are none.
I stand aside, for God, they're both in a tale. Have you written down there, none?
Senora Guardia, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
I see, that's the aftest way. Let the watch come forth. Senores, I charge you in El Chasapata's name. Accuse these men.
That man said, Senorita, that Don Juan El General's sister was a villain.
Write down, Doña Juana. Why? This is flat perjury to call a general's sister a villain.
Villain?
Pray you, Father Priest, I do not like the look, I promise you.
What heard you him say else?
Mary, that he had received 1,000 pesos of Doña Juana for accusing Senorita Hero wrongfully.
That is flat burglary if ever was committed.
See, by the mass, that it is.
What else, fellow?
And that Capitan Claudio did mean upon his word to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villanos, you will be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
Es todo.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Doña Juana was this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this manner refused, and upon the grief of all this, suddenly died. Senora Guardia, let these men be bound and brought to Leonardo's. I will go before and show her their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in their hands.
Off, Cornudo!
Oh, Madre de Dios! Where's the 60? Let her run down. El General's officer, Cornudo. Come burn them. Oh, thou naughty capron!
Away! You are a burro! You are a burro!
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that she were here to write me down a burro! But, masters, do not forget, I am a burro. Though it's not writ down, remember, I am a burro. Oh, thou villain, thou art full of piety, which shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise woman, and which is more, I am a household, and which is more, I am an officer, and which is more, I am a prettier piece of flesh as there is in Ku Alta. One that knows the law, go to. A woman rich enough, go to. A woman that has had her losses. And one that has 2 gowns and everything handsome about her. Take him away. Oh, that I would rip down a burrow.
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee, cease thy counsels. Bring me a woman who has so loved her child, whose joy in her is overwhelmed like mine, and bid her speak to me of patience. Measure her woe the length and breadth of mine. Let it answer every strain for strain, and thus for thus, and such a grief for such, and every lineament, branch, shape, and form. If such a one will smile and pat her hair, bid sorrow wag, cry hem when she should groan, pat griefs with proverbs, make misfortunes drunk with candle wasters, bring her yet to me, and I of her will gather patience. But there is no such woman. Women can counsel and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves not feel. But once tasting it, all counsels turn to passions, which before would give perceptual medicine to rage, fetter strong madness in a silken thread, charm ache with air and agony with words. No, no! 'Tis women's office to speak patience to those that wring under a load of sorrow. But no women's virtue or sufficiency to be so noble when they endure the like themselves. Therefore give me no more counsels. My griefs cry louder than advertisement.
Therein do women from children nothing differ.
I pray thee, peace. I will be flesh and blood.
Yet bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those who do offend you suffer too.
There thou speakst reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul tells me Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know, and so shall El General and all those that thus dishonor her.
Buenos dias. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias to both of you.
Escúchame, señores.
We have some haste, Leonata.
Some haste, senor. Well, fare you well. Are you so hasty now? All is well.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good woman.
If she could right herself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs her?
Mary, thou wrongst me, thou dissembler, thou! Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy gun. I fear thee not.
Maldito sea mi mano! If it should give your age such cause of fear, in faith, senor, my hand meant nothing to my gun.
Do not fear, fleer, and jest at me. I speak not like a dotard or uno tonta. Thou hast so wronged my innocent child and me that I am forced to lay reverence by, and with gray hair and bruise of many days, do challenge thee to trial of a man. I say thou hast belied my innocent child. Thy slanders have gone through and through her heart until she lies buried with her ancestors. Oh, in a tomb where slander never slept, till this of hers framed by thy villainy.
My villainy!
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say!
You say not right, old woman.
Senor. I'll prove it on his body, if he dare.
Away, I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so daff me? Thou hast killed my child. And if thou shalt kill me, boy, thou shalt kill a woman.
He shall kill 2 of us, and men indeed. But that's no matter. Let him kill one first. Come, follow me, boy! Come, Chico, come! Follow me!
Mi hermano.
Content yourself. God knows I loved my niece, and she is dead! Slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer a man, indeed, as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops!
Antonio!
Hold you content. What, man? Oh, I know them, see, and what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple. Scambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys! That lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander, go antically, show outward hideousness, and speak oft 6 dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies. If they durst. And this is all.
Campesinos both! We will not wake your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
Senor!
I will not hear you!
No. Come, hermano, away. I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
Now, senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You were almost come to part, almost afraid.
We have like to have had our 2 noses snapped off by 2 old people without teeth.
Leonata and her brother, what thinkst thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my holster. Shall I draw it?
Well, dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. We will bid thee, as we do the minstrel, draw to pleasure us.
Oh, as I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
What though? Courage, man! What though care kill the cat? Thou hast mettle enough in thee to kill care.
I pray you choose another subject.
Oh, I think he be angry indeed.
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. You have killed a sweet senorita, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
I will meet thee, so I may have good cheer.
What a feast, a feast!
His faith, I thank him. He hath bid me a calf's head and a capon, the which, if I do not carve most curiously, say my knife's not. Shall I not fight a woodcock too?
Adios, Nino. You know my mind. Senor, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must now discontinue your company. Your sister is fled from Coalta. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent senorita. As for my lord Lackbeard there, he and I shall meet. But till then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest. And I'll warrant you for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee.
Oh, sincerely.
How now, 2 of my sister's men bound, Baraka one.
Hearken after their offense, senor.
Guardias, what offense have these men done?
Mary, senor, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruth. Secondarily, their slander. 6th and lastly, they have belied a senorita. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things, and to conclude the matter, they are false villanos.
First, I ask what's their offense. Thirdly, I ask why they are committed. 6th and lastly, what they have done. And to conclude, what lay you to their charge?
Rightly reasoned, and in her own division. And by my troth, there's one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer? This learned Guardias is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
Sweet General. Sweet General, let me go no farther to mine answer. Do you hear me and let this Capitan kill me? I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man. How Doña Juana, your sister, incensed me to slander Señorita Hero. How you were brought into the orchard to see me court Margaret in Hero's garments. How you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I'd rather seal with my death than repeat over in my shame. The Señorita is dead upon mine and my mistress's false accusations. But briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Is not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison while he uttered it.
But did my sister set thee onto this?
See, and pay me richly for the practice of it.
She is composed and framed of treachery, and fled she is upon this villainy.
Oh, Hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved it first.
Come take the plaintiffs away. By now, Sexton has informed Senora Leonata of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify when time and place shall serve that I am a villain and a borough.
Where is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you would know your wronger, aquí estoy.
Art thou the villain that with thy breath hath killed my innocent child?
See, even I alone.
Nay, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. His sisters fled who had a hand in it. Gracias, señores, for the death of my daughter. Recorded with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Choose your revenge for yourself, but sinned I not but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. And yet to satisfy this good Senora, I would bend under any heavy weight that she'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people in Kowal to hear how innocent she died. And if your love can labor aught in sad invention, hang her an epitaph upon her tomb, and sing it to her bones, sing it tonight. Tomorrow come you to my house, and since you couldn't be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. Mi hermano has a daughter, almost the copy of my child that's dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the rights you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge.
Oh, Senora, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer, and henceforth dispose of poor Claudio.
Mañana, then, we will await your coming. Tonight I take my leave.
Moreover, Senora, this accused the villain did call me a borough. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. I pray you examine him upon that matter.
There, for thy pains.
Oh, viva Leonata!
Go, I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank you.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourselves for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Venga, amiga.
Until mañana, señores. Adios.
Vaya con Dios, señores. We look for you tomorrow.
We will not fail you.
Tonight, I'll mourn with Hero.
Bring you these fellows on. We'll talk with Margaret. how our acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Pray thee, sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it. For in most comely truth thou deservest it.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you.
And therefore will come. My friend, I want to trade my horse for her house, my saddle for her mirror, my knife for her blanket. Compadre, quiero cambiar mi caballo por su casa, mi montura por su espejo, mi cuchillo por su manta. Oh! Beatrice, mi novia! Wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Si, Signor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay but till then.
Then is spoken. Fare you well. And yet, before I go, let me go with that which I came for, which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Oh, foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome, and therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frighted the word out of its right sense. So forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him coward. And now tell me, for which of my bad parts did thou first fall in love with me?
For them all together, which maintain so politic a state of evil, that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love, a good epithet, for I do suffer love indeed. For I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart. If you will spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There's not one wise man among 20 that would praise himself.
So much for praising myself, who, I myself bear witness, is praiseworthy. And now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill too.
Serve God, love me, and mend.
Senora, you must come to your tia. It is proved my Senorita Hero hath been falsely accused. El General and Claudio mightily abused, and Doña Juana is the author of all, who has fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you come hear this news, Signor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thine eyes. And moreover, I will go with thee to thy tia's.
Is this the monument of Leonata? Done to death by slanderous tongues was the hero who here lies. death in guerdon of her wrongs, gives her fame, which never dies. So the life that died in shame lives in death with glorious fame. Hang thou there upon the tomb, praising her when I am dumb. Now music sound, and sing your solemn hymn. Pardon, goddess of the night, those that slew thy virgin night. For the which with songs of woe round about her tomb they go. Midnight, assist our moans, help us to sigh and groan. Heavily, heavily, brave Juan and yield their dead. Heavily, heavily, till death be uttered. Now unto thy bones good night. Yearly will I do this right.
Thanks to you all, and leave us. Adios.
Dios, señores. Each his several way.
Come. Let us hence to put on other weeds, and then go we to Leonata's.
And Hymen now with luckier issue speeds than this, for whom we rendered up this woe.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
And so are General and Claudio who accused her. Upon the error you heard debated. Margaret was in some fault for this, but against her will as it appears in the true course of all the question.
Well, I am glad that all things sort so well.
And so am I, being else by faith and forced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you handmaidens all, withdrawn to a chamber by yourself, and when I send for you, come hither masked. El General and Claudio promised me by this hour to visit. Hermano, you know your office. You must be father to your sister's daughter, and give her to young Claudio.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance.
Padre, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, senor?
To bind me or undo me, one of them. Signora, truth it is, good Signora, your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I, my daughter, lent her, 'tis most true.
And I, with an eye of love, requite her.
The sight I think you had from me, from Claudio and El General, but what's your will?
Your answer, see, is enigmatical. But for my will is your goodwill. May stand with ours this day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage, in which, good Padre, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help. Here comes El General and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Buenos dias, General. Buenos dias, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with me, Hermano's daughter?
I'll hold my mind where she rallies.
Call her forth, Hermano. Here's the Padre ready.
Good morrow, Benedict. Why, what's the matter that you have such a February face, so full of frost, of storm, and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, fear not, man, we'll tip thy horns with gold.
Some such strange bull leaped your father's cow and got a calf in that same noble feat. Much like to you, for you have just its bleat.
For this I owe you. Here comes other reckonings. Which is the senorita I must seize upon?
This same is she, and I do give you her.
Why, then she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not until you take her hand before this padre and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy padre. I am your husband if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero.
Nothing certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero. Hero that is dead.
She died, senor, whilst her slander lived.
On to the chapel. Let us presently.
Soft and fair, Padre. Which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Pues no more than reason.
Why, then your tia, El General, and Claudio have been deceived. They swore that you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no more than reason.
Why, then my cousin, Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they swore you did.
Well, they swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me?
Truly, no, but with friendly recompense.
Oh, cousin, surely you love the gentleman.
I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her. For here is a paper written in his own hand, a halting sonnet fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another written my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedict.
Que milagro. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace. I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, General. A college of woodcrackers cannot flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satire or an epigram? No! Since I do purpose to marry, I can think of nothing to any purpose that the world can say against it. Therefore, don't flout at me for what I've said against it. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee. But in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
I would have hoped thou wouldst have denied Beatrice, that I might have cudgeled thee out of thy single life, and made thee a double dealer, which out of question thou might be, if my cousin does not look exceeding narrowly to thee.
Come. Somos amigos, let's have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterwards.
First of my word, therefore play music. Enroll, thou art sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife.
Senor, your sister Juana was ta'en in flight and brought with armed men back to Guata.
Think not on her till tomorrow. I'll devise thee brave punishments for her. Strike up, guitaristas!